Hollywood is blessed with a plethora of talented actors and actresses that keep us entertained and glued to our TV screens. When it comes to the host of actors that deliver their roles to perfection, our guest on the show today makes that list. Now, joining me on the show today to discuss his latest movie, amongst other things, is Daniel Etim Effiong. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The way you look like when I say you deliver it to perfection, it didn't shock you.
Not at all, not at all.
Okay, so let me start by asking how market, how's the movie industry been for you? You've been in the industry for like over a decade now.
Yes.
So,
yes.
How has it been for you?
I would say great. I've been blessed to have come in when things were still pretty much forming, especially in the industry as we know it today, new Nollywood.
New Nollywood, okay.
Yes. The online platforms were just beginning to blossom. I started off as a content producer with Ndani TV, Nigeria's first online TV, if I would hazard that. So things were just forming online, and we started off with Giddy Up, Nigeria's first real big web series. And I had just come off my 9-to-5 and just plunged myself into the industry, and the industry was really kind to me. And my career just took off after that. I took a brief hiatus to go study filmmaking in South Africa, and then I came back, and the rest is history.
When you say you're benefiting from new Nollywood, are you trying to say that old Hollywood you won't have survived?
That's a good point you raise, really, because I was coming in with actually a fear of being a struggling artist. I was coming from a structured industry, structured life into entertainment, and my greatest fear was that I won't be able to take care of myself, I won't be able to take care of my family, I'd be going from place to place, trying to book a job, So it was, I had that initial apprehension. But I think coming into Nollywood, and especially Nollywood as it exists, just provided the opportunity for me to ride on the new wave, All things were beginning to blossom online. So it was easy for people to notice me, for people to notice how different I was from the pack, So the industry just welcomed me with open arms. If that window wasn't there, I probably would, I think it would be harder for me to bubble up to the top, really.
Okay, so if you hadn't, should I say, made a mark, would you have gone back to your 9-to-5?
I don't think so. It would have been harder for me, but I would have survived.
You'd have survived?
Yes, I'm a survivor.
So trust me, how sometimes it can be frustrating when you were earning a certain amount of money, you were comfortable, and you try to chase your passion, what you want to do, and the money stops coming. Yeah. Then you'd be like, did I make a mistake? Because sometimes going back might even be harder than actually, what it was before.
Fun fact, I've never regretted taking that step. I don't know how, God just did it for me. It was just one success after another, and I never had a moment where I had to, initially there were spells where I wasn't working, and I miss those days because right now there's so much work that I'm like, gosh, I miss those days when I had time to just rest, time to myself, time to create things. Now it's just, work after work.
That's a good headache now.
Yeah, but I'd rather have, I think I'm at that place in my career where, my time is precious, and when I sit with myself, what I'm able to produce is like life-changing, really.
Okay, so when you say you hardly have time, how many movies do you do in a month?
Ish, do you want to, should we go there?
No, people would wish to be very busy and not have time for distractions.
Yes.
But you're wishing you had time to actually do other things.
Yeah, spend time with my family, spend time with myself. On the average, I do, so I'll be very conservative and say I do, I do an average of 3 to 4 films a month.
3 to 4 films a month? Mm-hmm. How much do you charge?
Wouldn't you want to know?
Maybe I will switch to Hollywood. Just say. Okay, now talking about having time to yourself. What do you miss most about having a normal life? Outside the cameras, not going on the street and someone point you out and be like, I know that person. Like, what do you miss most about having a normal life?
Like I said, just spending time with myself. I'm a homebody. I like to be alone. That alone time, spending time with family also is just so good. Being able to just walk around and not being noticed, just be yourself, wear your shorts and, not thinking about, oh, someone is going to want to take a photo with me. Do I look okay? How's my makeup? How's my hair? Have I got my haircut? Keeping appearances, red carpets. I like to attend events and not bother about getting interviewed or getting photographed.
Okay.
Those
So
things.
do you sneak into such events?
Yes, no, I have to, sometimes I just want to, go behind the press and just, go in there and see the movie and not have to do the, the whole red carpet and things. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about your latest movie. That is The Masking, which premiered this past weekend. I mean, tell us a little bit about the movie.
The Masked King is a story loosely based on the life and times of Mary Slessor. The Caucasian lady who came in as a missionary to the area, Cross River State area, Calabar, and it is said that she was instrumental to abolishing the killing of twins, and so the story picks up where there's a king who is adamant on, standing on tradition and, killing twins. And he finds out that his decision or his desire to uphold tradition is being challenged by a warrior who's a rebel. And, the warrior and the king clash. And in the end, let's say love wins, love triumphs in the end.
Okay, so you play King in this particular flick. This is my first time seeing you play such a role.
Right.
So what was it like for you? The experience, what did you need to dig deep to actually act and be a king? Because normally we are all used to seeing you play lover boy, playboy, relationship romance. So this particular character, how was it for you to...
So I'm trying also not to let too much out of the bag, but I actually played two characters. I won't talk much on the second character. I'll just speak on the king that I played. It was, I think, first of all, right, I'm from a royal family on both sides of my family, right? My mom's side and my dad's side. Thank you. So right. It wasn't too hard for me to embody royalty. And but this guy was dark, he was evil, as it were, and he wanted, to uphold the tradition that killed twins. So that dark side was kind of foreign to me. So I had to dig deep, and find the dark side in my mind. Yeah, in my mind to play the role, to play the character properly. But yeah, it was wonderful filming in Cross River State, my hometown. We would go by boat every day to set to Creektown from Calabar. It was a 20-minute boat ride, and it was. I'm from Calabar, so my family back home were excited to have me filming in Calabar. If I had issues with some of the lines I had to do in Effiong, I'd go home and rehearse with my parents. So it was wonderful. It was a great time we had filming this.
And how long were you on set for this particular movie?
About a month.
A month.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's long enough. What's the actual duration for a proper cinema movie?
So we're looking at 10 to 18 days.
10 to 18 days?
Yes, 10 to 18 days. If you're doing it for a month, you're doing a proper film. And so you average 4 to 6 scenes a day, which is great, if you're doing it for a month, which is great, because then you're spending time to make sure you're getting the right shots, you're putting in the right time to make sure the film comes out perfect. The more days you have, the more time you spend on set, the more time you have to express yourself. The less time you have on set, you have to hurry. Like YouTube family, they do 4 days,
5 days.
4 to 5 days, so you're looking at 15 to 20 scenes a day, so it's like staccato, you have to go, and there's no time to want to take a second or third take.
When you take it, anyhow it is.
Exactly. You hear people say it's good, let's go. Next scene, because they're chasing time.
It's down to production cost, I guess.
Absolutely. The YouTube model is is special. You know, you have to shoot within a certain time frame because you don't want to go over and spend more because you're hiring crew, hiring equipment. So the budget is estimated for 4 days. Equipment, manpower, actors, 4 days. So you go in, tap, and you go out.
Okay, now this next question, like I told you earlier, my colleague has been dying to know, like the range, for costs of producing a Nollywood movie. Because I mean, take for example abroad, Hollywood, they would always give you the amount it was used to produce, and I mean they follow up with the box office tracking and all that. Take for example, Snow White was produced with about like $300 million, but so far debut opening weekend, it's just grossed about a little bit over $80 million, dollars. Now for Nollywood, we hardly do that by putting out our cost there. So I'm asking you, first of all, why is that? What's the reason why they sort of hide the cost? Then, for, just should I say research purposes, what is the actual cost to produce? Let's say a movie like The Masking.
I just finished my film, my personal film that I produced, directed, produced, and acted in. It's called The Herd. Just finished filming about June last year, so we're about getting ready to release it. So I did a lot of research during that period, getting into it, and so for a cinema film, I was going to say it would depend on what the platform you're producing for, but like you said, let's start with cinema. You should be looking at nothing less than between 80 to 200, 250 million naira.
Wow.
Yes, on the average. That's like, I know that's a wide range, but that's a mean, value you can go for. 80 million to about 200 to 50 million. So the upper limit is you want to go big, you're doing epics, you're doing things that'll take you out of town, you're doing, special effects and things like that. And of course, there are films that have been produced for more. I'm aware that, what's this film now?
Is it The Wedding Party or which?
No, The Black Book was produced for almost $1 million. So there's a range to it, there's a range to it. So, but that's a nice average, somewhere in the middle where you can fit your production budget and still be okay. Because remember that you have to make the money back. So yes, except you have, unlimited funding, you want to cap what you're spending within this industry because you have to make your money back for your investors. So you want to put it in a sweet middle, where you're able to achieve your dreams, but you're able to sell it enough to break
to make a profit and all that. And then for YouTube movies, I'm sure it costs way less.
Yes, absolutely, especially because the YouTube model can only make so much from YouTube, really.
Sure.
From views and your RPMs and all of that. So what you want to do is you want to cap it. So an upper limit would be somewhere around 15 to 20 million, and then your lower limit definitely somewhere around 5 million. Today, that lower limit is gradually going higher because of inflation, and you're looking at maybe 7, 8 lower limit.
Okay, now let's talk about you as a family man. I mean, should I say blending the movie industry, your career, and your family? You're a father of 3 kids.
Absolutely.
Beautiful kids, by the way.
Thank
so
you.
how do you balance it all? Being available for your family, and also, thriving in your career.
So the secret for me is structure. I had to learn the hard way. You put certain structures in place to make sure that you're not an absentee father or an absentee mother, as it were. I try to make time for my children. Like this afternoon, I had to go pick them from school. Not because I had all this time in the world, but I was on set yesterday up until this morning, up until 7. We wrapped up shoot 7 a.m. this morning. So of course I missed the kids. I got back home for about 9. I missed them this morning. So I had to, nominate myself, volunteer to go pick them because the driver could have done it. But I'm like, driver will come, I'll fall asleep. They'll come. By the time I'm ready, they'll be out playing. I wouldn't spend time with them. So I volunteered to go pick them from school, spend that little time with them, come back home, have a good chat, all of that. So these are the things, I've structured my life in such a way that in the morning, to spend time with the kids, I go with them to school, drop them off in school, go to the gym, come back, and then go to work. So with that, every day, that's ample time. Well, some will argue not enough time, but for me, that's what I'm able to do on a daily, to spend time with them. And then, because I'm on set, and then we finish late at night, by the time we're done, the kids will be sleeping. So we have to create these little moments. And then when I'm off work, I know it's time for the kids, family time. We try to go out and spend time together, try to get involved. My wife is very helpful as well. Make sure that I'm involved, because if you leave me, I won't. I'll just not get involved. But she makes sure that, go do it with your daddy. Have you helped them with their homework? Have you, just try to get me involved with raising the kids, which is very helpful.
Availability is the currency that kids understand, not what you're spending. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so let's talk about
spend all the money.
Spend all the money. If you're not available, it's a problem. Okay, so let's talk about how you handle. Of course, talk about family life. Now, you are one of the most talked about actors, amongst female fans. Now, how do you deal with that? And I've seen some female fans say, you play the romantic role so well that they wish you were not married. Well, some people say that your wife should let you breathe. That she's obsessed. She's too this. She does too much. Well, first of all, what message do you have for such fans? Then how do you even deal with them? Separating the job from and actually sort of managing the fans. How do you balance it all?
I think to each his own.
Yeah.
I'm just the one actor. There's lots of actors out there who are fantastic at their craft, who look amazing, who are great looking, who are also single. So if anyone has a problem with me being married and being attractive and acting, trust me, there's several other options you can go for. So I'm, first of all...
Okay, so you are deferring them to others?
Absolutely. I can refer you, I can refer you. My guy, Effiong, is single. Go for him. He's great at his craft. He's good looking.
There's bad.
There's bad. Well, just go for them, right? Go for others. But it's important to also state that for me, my first duty is to my family. I'm highly protective of my family. That includes my wife and my kids. So my first duty is to them before I have a duty to the fans. And yes, I love the fans. And if you let me, I will give of myself and keep giving of myself until there's nothing left to me. So I have to be protected. And part of that protection is making sure that my wife is seen by me and is seen that we are both obsessed with each other all the time. So it's a type of protection also, So yeah, these are the things.
Okay, so before I ask you my next question, now this particular video, I want us to play and you listen to it. Some fans reacted to it when it came out, but let's just, I'm sure you know it.
Do you trust me? Like 100%. After 7 years, do you trust me?
Do I trust you 100%? No. But I trust that you will always keep me in the loop. So maybe not keep me in the loop. I've spent these years with you. I know you to a large extent, and I'm getting to know you better. I think that you will do your absolute best to just honor your vows and honor what we have. But I'm also aware that I don't say anything can happen, but things happen, more like. And I feel like if anything ever happens, I would know.
Okay, now this particular video, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. I'm sure you've seen a few comments.
Yeah.
Some fans were not happy about you putting out this video that you and your wife should keep your lives private, instead of sharing too much. What is your reaction to that? And then, the part where she said, I don't trust you. Some people also said, let me quote some tweets, that, that she doesn't really trust him for real. That probably because he plays a lot of romantic scenes or roles as that. I mean, doesn't it bother you putting too much of your life out there?
Personal
for
life.
fans? Personal life, yeah.
And I'll answer as plainly as possible. Initially, it did bother me, but of course, my wife and I had to talk about it. And once the purpose of a thing is known, then you skirt through abuse. You avoid abuse. And just reading the comments, especially the comments on the video itself on YouTube, it just blew my mind how much people need their heroes or their role models or people they look up to be real, to be vulnerable, to be themselves. Because there's so much falsehood out there. There's so much pretense. There's so much lies going around, and to have to see your stars, quote unquote, be real, especially in marriage, for me and for many people, was life-changing. Just reading through the comments, not the comments on the blogs, the comments on YouTube itself, on the video. You hear people say, I was so blessed by this. Thank you, I needed this. Oh my God, thank you for being so vulnerable. I think, and you have to have a calling for it first. You have to have the grace to be that vulnerable publicly. It's not for everyone.
It's actually not for everyone.
But Toyosi and I have been able to do this and do this successfully thus far, and like I said, it has helped a lot of people, helped a lot of families and a lot of relationships, and we will do more if it will help people. I promise you, we will do more if we know that it blesses people, if we know that it helps people.
So if the positives outweighs the negative, you're good.
Absolutely.
So let me guess, the Transparent episode, both of you came
exactly. So that's an offshoot of this. We sat down and we're like, what can we do to help people? How can we, not give too much, but trust me, there's a lot to talk about, but we are deliberate with what we talk about, because there's only so much that can help people. Yes, you can talk about 1 to 100, but maybe 1 to 20 is what will be helpful, what is needful. And that's what our focus will be on. And so we're carefully doing that, carefully selecting what to talk about, carefully curating our content to make sure that it helps people.
All right, we're wrapping up, but real quickly, in 30 seconds, plans for the rest of the year. Quick one.
So I'm at a stage in my career where I'm focusing on producing and directing more stories. My passion has always been storytelling. So the plan is to do less acting and then more storytelling, more producing and directing.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel Etim Effiong, actor, producer, content creator, writer. Thanks so much for coming on the show.